Assalamu alaikum ladies, how are you all today? As promised, I'm going to be filming a Q&A video today. I posted it on Instagram, I think maybe over a week and a half ago, and I promised you all that I was going to answer any questions that you will ask, and I'm going to try getting through a few for you today, at least around 10. That way you guys can get to know a little bit more about me. It's an opportunity for you guys to know not just Sara Y that you see on Instagram, but just the real Sara that I am every day. I'm going to go through the ones on Instagram. Then I was also asked a few questions on Snapchat by a few people who would rather stay anonymous, which I completely respect. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first question is from Sosa_H6A, and she writes, what places do you recommend? What dishes, items and clothing stores do you recommend? So places I recommend, I am a very travel loving person. I love to travel, but honestly I've only been overseas one time, and that was just for my honeymoon. I went to Malaysia, so that's probably the one place I can recommend because I've been there and I love it, and particularly Langkawi Island. I absolutely loved Langkawi. I actually liked it a lot more than KL, which is the main city. I think it was just because it was just an amazing relaxing space, and the particular resort that we stayed in, which was called Westin, it was amazing, and actually it was a very luxurious resort. So yeah, I really recommend going to Langkawi if you are thinking of a honeymoon destination. It's amazing. Places in Sydney that I recommend, I always got to do with food, so I'm not even going to go into that because that's going to be like a whole video on its own. I love food, so yeah. Let's move on. Clothing stores I recommend, well, let's just say here around Sydney, there's a lot of stores in the Greenacre strip that I love. So just go there. It's kind of like where everything is, like Firewear, and then there's Veil of Faith all the way down the road. So that whole strip have some really great hijab clothing, and it's very affordable, and it's excellent for the young hijab wearer because they have such versatile clothing and hijab options. So definitely check out that strip, and it also has Nur Huda, which have like every single hijab you can think of. And some also great shops that you can shop for hijab are not even modest names. So there's things like Portman's and Sportsgill and Valleygill and things like that. Assassin Bite, they have great things for the hijab wearer for formal events. They have the long blazers and things like that. So you can definitely get away with wearing things that aren't classified as modest, but you can make them modest yourself. Online stores, I recommend ASOS, Boohoo, Misguided, the list goes on. I will link a few down below for you guys, and that way you can have a bit of an idea of where I shop online, and if I was to go into it as well, it will be a very, very excessive list. So yeah, have a look down below, and I'll try linking down as many as I can. The next question comes from QOTD_QOTN. What are your thoughts on feminism? Men and women are equal. Yes, I definitely believe that women and men are definitely equal. There's a lot of different views on this subject, and I don't really want to get into it because just like anything else in this subject, it's like kind of like politics, isn't it? It's very debateful. Like everyone sort of has their own opinions on it. I believe that women and men both have equal rights when it comes to anything, whether it's, you know, for career goals or whether it's just general living or anything like that. I do believe that women and men should be treated equally with everything. Now again, religiously is a whole different topic, but I'm talking about within country rights. And yeah, I do believe that women and men should be equal in every country. The next question comes from Maddie12293, and she actually has two questions for me. The first one was, your hen's party dresses you posted a photo of were amazing. How did you make them modest? And in brackets, she wrote, I presume you did, and she put an embarrassed face. Honestly, my hen's night was ladies only, so I didn't really have to worry too much about making them modest enough for a man to see me. But modest enough for a woman to see me, definitely. I wasn't showing any of my body parts that a woman shouldn't see. They were very covered. The second question from Maddie is, do you and your husband wear wedding or engagement rings? I also see lots of pretty rings on your fingers. Love to you, Sara. Well, yes, we do wear our engagement or wedding rings. Sometimes I don't, just because after I got married, my hands shrunk. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because of winter that went past, but my fingers just shrunk heaps, and my rings became a little bit too big for my finger. So I was scared to wear them, because every time I would, they would slip on and off my fingers. So I was scared to wear them. So right now I haven't been wearing them for a while now. But yeah, we definitely wear them. My husband wears it on a necklace sometimes if he doesn't want to lose it at work, because his work is very demanding and he has to use his hands all the time. So he prefers to leave it on his necklace, or he just leaves it at home. The next question comes from Khadija5729, and she says, what are your favorite places to shop at for your house? What are your favorite online stores? Well, for fashion online stores, I did mention before, but for homewares, I love Next Direct. They have amazing things straight direct from the UK. In regards to shops located here in Australia, I love shopping at Bed Bath & Table. Sometimes Target get really great stuff. Maya, they have a lot of the house and garden things and the salt and pepper stuff, which I love. Habitania, which just opened in Bankstown, and I love it because it's like really close by to where I live. And what else? I don't really have any particular stores. Even for fashion, I don't have any particular stores. I mean, yeah, it's just whatever I see. I mean, if I'm walking past and I see something I like, I grab it, but it's never really like a certain shop, you know what I mean? So yeah. The next question comes from Cassidy Sky, and she says, can you start sharing your recipes? Well, actually, when I do post up a recipe on my Instagram or my Facebook, I do, if it's a very popular picture and people want to know the recipe, I do write it out and I share it on my blog. So for those of you who are very curious about recipes that I post up, the link for my blog will be down below, or you can find it in the bio in my Instagram, and you can just click onto my blog and it will take you straight to the page where I have most of my recipes written out, and you can use those. The next question comes from Mary.L. How's marriage life, and do you miss being home? Funny this question came up because I was just talking to my husband about this yesterday, about how many people before I got married were like, don't get married, you're going to regret it, it's going to be the worst time of your life and you're not going to have your freedom. And so many people were just against me getting married, and funnily enough, those people themselves were married. No one other than my mom and my sister and were just like, don't listen to what those people have to say, you know, maybe they have an issue in their marriage life and they're unhappy, but you make your life happy. So I completely agree with that. My mum and my sister both were always like, you make your own life happy, so don't worry about what other people have to say. I thought to myself, I'm like, listen, you're going to be happy and you're going to make your life happy with your husband. So marriage life for me is amazing. Obviously you have your ups and downs, as you have in any relationship, whether it's a friendship with a friend, or whether it's your marriage, or whether it's your partner, your fiance. You have ups and downs. Alhamdulillah, as long as you have religion in your home, and as long as you pray and you share the same belief as your partner, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And as long as, which is most important to me, as long as you share the same traditions as your partner as well, then I don't think there should be a problem. But if you don't share the same traditions, I'm sure you learn from each other along the way. Speaking of learning from each other, that's a really good point, because you know, there are things that you don't know about your partner until you marry them, until you live with them. So when I started living with my husband, it was very weird at the beginning. Like I felt like, oh my God, it's different. Like you're sleeping in a house with someone that you've never slept with before. You're eating with someone you've never eaten with before. You're watching TV with someone you've never sat alone with and watched TV. So it's really different, but you learn to accept it and you learn from each other. So you start teaching each other things that you didn't know before, and I think it's really, really important that you remember to be really open-minded when it comes to taking things in from your partner, because you might not be used to that from your family, but he's maybe used to that from his family. So you have to take it in and sort of try and work around it and try to incorporate both your traditions. I believe as long as there's mutual respect between you and your partner, there shouldn't really be severe issues with the relationship or with your marriage in particular. And as long as there's respect for each other's families as well, that's a very, very important point to keep in mind if you are on the road or on the journey of getting married. The question also says, do you miss being home? I miss being home so much. I miss my room, and I miss the fact that I could just put pink everywhere and not have to worry about there being a man that's going to share it with me. But thankfully my husband does not get involved when it comes to decorating the house, and he just leaves it all up to me. So I'm very grateful and alhamdulillah that I have a husband that doesn't really mind what I do in the house, and so I get to decorate it the way I used to decorate my room. You know, I get to decorate it with whatever I like. In my room I used to have like a dressing table with makeup in it. I used to have these like canvases with dresses on it. I'm pretty sure if you scroll down to my old posts on Instagram, I have some room photos on there before I got married. But I get to put little pink things around here and there as well. Like for example, I'm looking at one right now on my kitchen bench. I've got this little cupcake book, and then on top of it I have this cute little pink cup and saucer, and I've got these cute baby's breath in there and things like this. He really doesn't care about, like he doesn't mind that I put pink and stuff. So moving on to the next question, it says, it's from Bayan Palani, who writes, how old are you? I'm currently 21 years old. I turned 21 on May the 12th, so next year will be my 22nd birthday. The next two questions were sent to me via Snapchat, and these people have chosen to be anonymous, so I won't be mentioning their names. But this question goes, hello, assalamu alaikum. I seen your post for the Q&A and I don't have social media other than Snapchat, so I thought I'd ask you here. The question goes, I just want to know, how do you put behind your insecurities, as I have a lot of insecurities about my body. Now that you're married, how do you feel confident about yourself, and what helps you get rid of them? Thanks. Alright, so insecurities are very, very important, and they can really send you through depression. Okay, if you have a lot of insecurities, they can be the reason why you're depressed, and I completely understand that. You know, there came a stage in my life when I had like very mild acne on my forehead, where that was just kind of just like mild comedonal acne. And there were just like these little dots all over my forehead, and I definitely felt very self-conscious about them all the time. And I would, you know, I changed the way that I wore my hijab. I started wearing it very low, and there was just a lot of things that I stopped doing because of that, and because it played a big role in my confidence. The way I got rid of that self-confidence issue was literally just looking at myself and being like, what are you doing? Like, are you going to spend the whole rest of your life looking at yourself and thinking, oh my God, you know, I've got a problem with my skin or whatever? One piece of advice that I'm going to give you that I hope you take in is literally to shut off everybody who says any negative comments towards you. Shut off the negative comments that you say towards yourself as well, because you play a big role in your confidence. If you're going to keep looking at yourself thinking, oh, I'm ugly, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, you're going to start believing it. So stop giving yourself bad images. You come first when it comes to your self-confidence. If there has been someone in your life who has said something to you that's taken effect on you since that day or that time they've said it, you really need to find a way to cut that out of your life. Another way that you can get rid of your insecurities is about your body. And since you mentioned now that you're married and you have insecurities about your body, I completely understand where you're coming from in regards to being comfortable around your partner. What helped me be comfortable around my partner is my partner. You know, my husband is always like, I want you to be comfortable, you know, slouch around the house, wear comfortable clothes and be comfortable, because this is your home and I want us to be comfortable together. So definitely my partner played a big role in the fact that I am very comfortable around him when it comes to, you know, anything, when it comes to my body or when it comes to the way I act. He makes me really, really comfortable. However, if you don't have that sort of advantage where your partner is making you feel comfortable and you need to do it for yourself, go ahead and do things that make you feel happy, make you feel pretty. In regards to your body, literally with me, I don't even work out. I literally hate working out. I don't eat healthy at all. I am probably at cafes like 5 out of the 7 days of the week. And I don't have a fast metabolism, so whatever I eat stays right where it goes. So it's either on my hips, on my stomach, on my hands. But I'm just the type, I don't care, because, you know, I just think to myself, that's something I want to eat and I'm going to eat it. And I'm not going to worry about where is this going to go and am I going to be able to get rid of this? You know, it's just, and I believe it's all in your mentality, you know, it's all in your mental thinking. So you think about it that you're fat and you're going to be looking at yourself fat. If you think that you're skinny, you're going to be looking skinny. So just think about it, you know, look at yourself, go get a makeover, get your hair done, then look at yourself in the mirror and be like, wow, I'm pretty. And that whole day you're going to feel pretty. So just do that and stop with your insecurities, please. There's no need for us to be insecure. Alhamdulillah, we have 10 fingers, 10 toes. There are people out there, there are children out there who have missing limbs, and we are complaining about being fat. Just, it's not worth it. Question also goes on to ask, how do you take care of your body? How do you keep it glowing? What tips would you give? And also, what scrubs do you use or recommend? Okay, body, I'm not even going to answer that because literally I just spent 5 minutes talking about how I don't care about my body. How do you keep your skin glowing? Okay. And I'll also talk about the scrubs in this as well. So I started using the Apricot Scrub by St. Ives, and that has tremendously helped my skin a lot. I use it twice a week, but I don't have sensitive skin. So if you have sensitive skin, use it once a week because it is pretty harsh on the skin. But alhamdulillah, I don't have much sensitive skin. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I use it twice a week and it's helped me a lot. Like, I really do feel like there's a difference in my skin with the way it glows, with the way it feels. I do still get the random spot here and there, but that's normal and I honestly don't care about it. It doesn't bother me much. I don't like wearing foundation because when I do wear foundation, I get pimples. So that also helps with, if you're wearing foundation every day, then your skin probably won't be glowing as much as if you give your face a break. For my body, I love using the Frank body scrubs. They are amazing, amazing, amazing. I think they're like mud scrubs. They're amazing. They leave your skin feeling squeaky clean. Like literally, you do that to your skin and it's like when you get glass and you scrub it until it's clean and you get that squeaky feeling. That's what your skin feels like after you use that scrub. All right, another question comes from Snapchat, anonymous again. It says, do you have any advice for marriage? Also, what age did you get married? So advice for marriage, I pretty much spoke about that before when it came to how's marriage life. But yeah, advice is just have mutual respect for each other. You know, don't fuss and fight over really immature things that you know are just going to lead to bigger arguments, and then when you look back at them later, you're going to be like, okay, did I really argue about that? It was so dumb. So just, yeah, try being really mature as well. And if you're in the wrong, you know, don't feel like, oh, you know, I'm too good to apologize. Just apologize and move on. Like, you know, an apology is actually a good thing, and you actually look like the better person when you apologize. So a lot of people say, oh no, I don't apologize, or I never apologize, or don't be immature, like who cares? What age did you get married? I actually got married March of this year, so I was only 20 years old when I got married, but 2 months later I turned 21. My husband was 23, he had just turned 23 when we got married. So at this point in our lives, I'm 21 and my husband is 23. So this final question comes from my email and it says, hi Sarah, just want to say I love your food and fashion ideas. The question goes on to ask, I want to ask for some advice about blogging and how you first started and how you get in contact with people who work with you. Okay, in regards to blogging, a lot of people find the term blogging very limited. Blogging is a very wide term, and this is just my personal opinion. Now, I believe if you want to be a blogger, it's not just about taking photos of your outfits and putting it up. It's about work that you do behind the scenes as well. So when I first started, I didn't know any other fashion bloggers except for a few bloggers from Kuwait, and I used to get a lot of inspiration from them. And I started blogging when pretty much about the same time that they started getting really high up there, and I was like, you know what, I want to do what these girls are doing, but I want to do it here in Sydney. And I just started it, and when I started, all I literally was doing was taking photos of myself and my outfits and putting it up and trying to give people inspiration. I would just, take photos of my closet and take photos of clothes laying down and I used to do this thing called new items of the week or something like that. And then I started really learning, and now a lot of people don't know what goes into blogging. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into it. For example, I go and style a lot of photo shoots. I style a lot of shop front mannequins. I style shop front interior design. So it's really a broad term blogging, but a lot of people think that it's really minimal, and a lot of people think that it's just, let's take a photo of our outfit and post it on Instagram. In regards to how do you get in contact with people who work with you, so basically these companies that I work with that you will see I collaborate with on Instagram, they contact me via email and we talk privately in regards to campaigning or in regards to marketing, and we do a lot of projects together. And there's some things that go on behind the scenes that I do, and there's some things that go on in front of you guys on Instagram that you will see. And yeah, so that's basically how I build relationships with my with companies online. It takes a while to build a business relationship. It's not like they message me and then yeah, let's work together. It takes time to build a relationship and seeing what we can both alter to suit each other's needs. So yeah, there's a lot of information that is kept very confidential, which is why a lot of you don't see everything I do on Instagram. But most of the things I do for marketing and for collaborating and for campaigning, you do see. The advice I can give about blogging is just be yourself, and yeah, you know, just show your own style through. Don't, you know, do blogging just because you want to be called a fashion blogger. Do blogging because you genuinely want to inspire people. When I first started blogging, I was focusing mainly on the gap that was in the market for young Muslim women who had the hijab on. I felt like there wasn't much being catered to them in regards to clothing and styles and things like that. And I felt like if I just show these young girls how you can style a simple outfit, even if it's not from a hijab store, and turn it into something that's modest, that's long, covered, but still stylish and still showing off your ability to dress fashionably. I've got a lot of positive feedback from you all, and that's what encouraged me to continue going. And my fiance at the time convinced me to continue on, and yeah, it was a great thing to do, and I don't regret it, not one bit. Okay guys, I think that's it for my Q&A. I've rambled on way too much. This video was in no way, shape or form prepared. I'm literally answering the question as I read it. So if I'm mumbling and jumbling around, then you know why. I want to thank you all for watching the Q&A. If you have any video requests that you'd like for me to make for YouTube, then please go ahead and request them down below, or you can visit my Instagram page and just request a video on any photo that you like. If you don't want it to be seen, you can email me. My email will be down below as well, or you can just Insta direct me on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions you have, even if it's just via my email. But yeah, inshallah, I look forward to making a lot more videos for you in the upcoming months, especially leading up to a few projects that I'm working on at this point. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!